Hello friends. So this is the third lecture on Shelley's A Defense of Poetry. And as we have seen, it is different from other defenses because this is a rebuttal. It is not an argument for defending or an apology like Sir Philip Sidney's. We have seen in our first lecture introduction, we saw what poetry is. Poetry is participating in the divine nature and other things also. And then second lecture we saw an overview. There are about 10 points. We are taking one by one today. The first point we will consider, and that is the two mental actions, that is reason and imagination. Because Thomas Locke, according to him, he says it is a waste of time to go after literary pursuits because those people who have got intelligence, intelligent people, they should go after reason, and also they should go after the modern developments and inventions. So make good use of your intelligence. That is what he says. So to this he says, what is meant by reason and what is meant by imagination? Literary pursuit means going after imagination or pursue imaginative products like the poems, drama and so on. So Shelley, to begin with, he is making a distinction between, or he is telling us what is reason and what is imagination. See that? So both these are, our today's topic is reason and imagination. Reason and imagination. What is the difference between reason and imagination? So both are mental actions. There are some similarity, means both are mental actions. Means, that is, I think it is simple without going on. You cannot say reason is action by hand, imagination action by leg. No. Both are mental actions. Both are two classes of mental actions. But then what is the difference between the two? So the differences are, we can see, reason, what happens when you are reasoning, the mind is contemplating, the mind is thinking, the mind is meditating. The relations born by one thought to another. So here the question is of relations. So there are different thoughts in your mind, So the relations between thoughts, that is what is happening when with the reason, mental action, reason. So relations, contemplating the relations of thoughts. So that, for example, I tell you how one thought is connected with another thought. That's what when you are using reason, that's what happens. If you take Macbeth, that's a good example for Macbeth, because you know it. Macbeth, what happens is, the idea, the thought is ambition. When you have got ambition, then the next connected thing is to become king. As far as Macbeth is concerned. Once king, then the next thought is you become a dictator. You have got absolute power. Next thought is your wife becomes a queen. See? Next thought is you can exterminate your opponents, those who are fighting against you. And then what will happen? Those who are raising revolt against you. And then what happens? You become an absolute monarch and you become like God. So this is how thoughts are connected like this. Then what about mind? What about the imagination? The imagination, what happens is that the mind is acting upon these thoughts so as to color them. The mind, these are thoughts in the mind of a person. Then the mind is acting upon these and to color them with its own light. So the mind has got imagination has got a light. Light means imagination enlightens or make things in a way, put things, allow you to or make you to, imagination makes you to think of things in a different way. Composing from them as from elements, small elements, other thoughts. That's the point. So, in They are relations, contemplating relations. But imagination, other thoughts are made. Other thoughts. That's it. Imagination colors, and then it has its own light. With its own light, it as from elements, it makes other thoughts. For example, what will be the other thought? In Macbeth, if you take this, if in reason, when you use reason, the mental action reason, you connect the thoughts like this, one after another. But when you use imagination, you make other thoughts from this. That you have got, you see, that towards the end of the tragedy you can see, out brief candle light is, life is a tale told by an idiot, full of sound and fury, signifying nothing. See, when you think of the first line of thinking, from this, what does Shakespeare do? Shakespeare is creating other thoughts, a philosophy of life, a view of life, a darshan, a new darshan. This is imagination. Did you get that point? One is connect thoughts like this. The other is from these thoughts, this is raw material. So raw material. And from this raw material you create something new. And that is the work of imagination. Listen, anything if you take up, you will find like that. La Belle Dame Sans Mercy. That beautiful poem by John Keats. So if the thoughts are, there is a lady, the lady is not, the lady falls in love with the knight and the lady, they have a happy life, and one night, the knight sleeps in the bosom of the lady, and when he gets up, he is all alone, there is nobody. So there is a loss, for example. Now, from this, what do the poets teach us? Say that don't go after such imaginary things. Then what will happen? All that glitters is not gold. That's it. All that glitters is not gold. There are many people will come to fall in love with you, and they pretend love, and I sought for their selfish interests. That's what it is. Ultimately this what happens. So the thought, reason is like this, one after another. But from these thoughts, the imagination creates something new. I think now that is clear. Okay. Now the second difference between, or you can say when you compare reason and relation, is that relations of things as relations in reason. Or to use the phrase given by Shelley, they are algebraical representations. In reason, thoughts are algebraical representations. And what do they produce? These thoughts produce general results. So, in reason gives algebraic relations, and the general results are produced. For example, you find now a plus b whole square is equal to a square plus 2ab plus b square. So this is a relation. That is a relation. This relation is explained in this way, that's all. So, in other words, and what is, or another example that I can give is like this: 1 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5 plus 5 is 5, 9, 9 plus 3, 12, 13. 13 is not a good number. That is, there are people who fear 13. That is, mental situation is, mental state is called triskaidekaphobia. Triskaidekaphobia. Phobia means hatred. Triskai means 3. Deca means 10. 10 plus 3, 13. So here it is 9 plus 3. That's 8. Now this is, what is it? Algebraic relations. The result, you have got only a general result. But then what happens in the process of imagination? In imagination, the thoughts are synthesized. Smithy of the mind. The mind is the smithy of the artist. It is synthesized. Thoughts are synthesized to produce universal principles. That is the thing. Reason produces universal principles. So now you can see now 2 points we have seen. First one we saw, reason and imagination both are two classes of mental action. What is reason? In reason, you are only contemplating relations. And then the poet creates other thoughts from the relations. Ambition, etc. Life is a tale. Then second is, reason gives only algebraic relations of thoughts. But what does the poet do? He finds out universal principles from that. Example I tell you, take stopping by woods on a snowy evening. So algebraic relations will be, reason will be, there is, you find woods, there must be somebody, an owner there, and you have got dark, then the evening is dark, it is snowy evening, it is filling with the snow, it is beautiful. So these are algebraic relations. But what is the new principle? The poet creates a new principle. What is that? At the end you can see, miles to go before I sleep and miles to go before I sleep. So that's a universal principle. That's the thing. You got that? That means you should not stop by, don't be tempted, so to say, by beautiful things in this world. Don't waste your time, but you should do your duty, and that duty is more important than wasting your time like this. It's a universal principle. And you know our first Prime Minister, the architect of modern India, that's how first Prime Minister is known, Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru. He had written these lines and kept it on his table. So universal principle, applicable to students. Don't waste your time on WhatsApp, Facebook. These are good. Like the man who was riding the horse, he enjoyed for some time. Then the horse gave a warning. Don't waste your time like this. You have many things to do. Look at that. So now WhatsApp. Well, you can have WhatsApp, you can have Facebook, you can have Instagram, you can have YouTube, you can have social media, anything like that. But you should not allow these things to exploit you. Did you get that point? It's a universal principle. The other things are just thoughts. And final result is what? Final result is it's a beautiful place. Yeah, evening is dark, snowy evening. Then there is woods. Woods are dark and lovely. All these things are beautiful. That is the general result. Anybody can see that. But only the poet can produce the universal principle from that. Understand? That is the second way. Now third is, see, in reason, you are enumerating. This is the first one. Second point. Now third is, you are just listing. Enumerating means listing. Listing non-qualities. Non-qualities. Things that is known already. For example, you take gold. You can list, reason will list like this. Yellow metal, passive metal, most costly metal. It will not do any, put it anywhere, it will be like that. Under no conditions, it will undergo any apparently conspicuous change, nothing of that sort. And these are, already we know this. So the reason will list it. But then what about the poet? The poet, on the other hand, he thinks that he says that it is not a quality, this is a, he will find out the value of that quality. The value of gold. What is the value of gold? Not that now gold is worth 35,000 rupees, I don't know. 3,400, 3,500 rupees per gram. That is not the value. The value is, the third point is, the value of that only the poet can find out. In the Joseph's prologue to Canterbury Tales, when he is describing the poor person of the town, the poor person of the town, he says, if gold rusted, the person is asking, what shall iron do? So that is the value. If gold rusted, what shall iron do? That is Middle English. And that is modern English. If gold rusts, what will iron do? And what is the context? Say that if the priest do not practice what he preaches, what would be the condition of the poor laity? That is it. So the gold value, this is the value. Not 3,500 rupees per gram. This is the value of gold. Understand that? Golden nights, that is not the gold there, but golden nights. Beautiful, that is value of gold. Understand? So that is the third point. That is reason lists qualities, but the poet or imagination, what does imagination do? Imagination, the perception of value in those qualities. That's it. Imagination perception, so value, not the value as I already said. Understand? Then there is a fourth point, comparing this, I hope you are following. Comparing this, you can see, reason always finds differences between things. Differences. For example, if you say there is a rose and there is love, okay? There is foot, there is hill. These are different things. You have eye, you have needle. They are different. But what about the poet? The poet finds similitude or similarity. He says, the poet will say, as Swinburne, my love is a red rose. There is no difference. Eye of a needle, difficult for the rich man to enter heaven. It is easier for a camel to go through the eye of a needle. In reason, eye is different, needle is different. You see that? Then he said, at the foot of the hill, two of us fell down. In reason, foot is different, hill is different. So there is similarity. Understand? These are the four difference you can say, although both are mental actions. How they function, that's the thing. So I will just go through once again, then it becomes clear. I think that it will be first point to note that both are mental actions. Okay. Then what is the first? What is the function difference? One, what happens? You find only relations. One, relations. Reason will tell you relations. That is reason. But imagination, what does imagination do? Imagination will create new thoughts. New thoughts from the materials. New thoughts. Imagination creates new thoughts. Materialist, maybe what do you find in this? The example we have taken is already we have seen. That is about Macbeth. In Macbeth, ambition is the one thought connected with that other thoughts. Ambition, king, queen, extermination, dictatorship, all-powerful, emperor, and so on. But what is new thoughts? Life is a tale told by an idiot. Same with the Hamlet. Hamlet, what is that? You have got revenge, then ghost, the king, then theatricality and all. But then in between you have the philosophy. There are more things in heaven and earth, Horatio, than that are dreamt of in your philosophy. Other thoughts connected with that. See that? Now the second one is, in reason. Reason is algebraic. Algebraic means you find a general algebraic representation and produces general results. General results. The result is there. What about imagination? Imagination synthesizes. Synthesize, and then what happens? Universal principles. Universal principles as a thing. Universal principles. We have seen what is our example here. Here it is Macbeth, we can say. Here it is stopping by woods. Stopping by woods. You can see algebraic relationship. The man who thinks uses his reason, but stopping by woods, you have got a universal principle. Life is the miles to go before us. Understand? And our third is reason. Reason is listing qualities. Listing qualities which we already know. Example is gold. Gold or qualities of gold. But imagination you have a value. Example is values. Example is Joseph's poor person of the town. His statement: if gold rusted, what shall iron do? So the value of gold is there. Understand? And then for this poor example here is the poor person of the town, the poor priest of the town in the prologue, general prologue. For this, reason is reason. What is reason? What does reason do? It tells you differences. For example, you have got rose and love, eye and needle. But what about imagination? Imagination you have similitude. This is the word used by Shelley. Similitude. That is, my love is Swinburne's line, famous line. My love is a red rose. See that? Eye of a needle. Eye of a needle. Eye of a needle, I think this. So these are the 4 points. I think now it is clear to you. Both are mental actions, but in one you have relations of thoughts, then imagination, new thoughts. Second, you can see general results, and then universal principles. Third, you have got listing of qualities, but you have got value, And in fourth is reason gives difference, but imagination. What? Similitude. This is the difference between, because this is a very you can say the central idea here. Because what does Thomas Love Peacock say? Is that intelligent people should use their reason and don't go after this kind of imaginative pursuits, the literary pursuits and so on. So then he is saying clearly what is reason, what is the difference between. So reason is definitely inferior to imagination. Because what can reason do? We can't just go around doing this, that, and difference and so on. But what is inside that can be brought out only by a poet, only by imagination. And then he says, reason is to imagination as instrument is to agent. It's a very important statement. Reason is to imagination as instrument is to agent. So the relationship. Now I will write down a similar sentence, then you will understand it better. I will say like this: money is to businessman as money is reason is to imagination. Money is to businessman as instrument. Money is to businessman. Reason is to imagination. Money is to businessman as instrument is to agent. Correct. Agent. So what is that? Very easy. If you look at this second statement, money is to businessman. Businessman is the agent, money is the instrument. It is the instrument to agent. Agent is businessman, instrument is money. You got the point. Without money, agent cannot work. Instrument to agent. Yes, agent is businessman. Yes, exactly like that. Reason is to imagination as instrument to agent. So reason provides raw materials, thoughts, relations between thoughts and all those things. Then agent is imagination. Imagination working as an agent produces other thoughts, universal principles, value and similitude. So reason, thoughts, you can say thoughts. And who is the agent? Agent is imagination. What does agent do? Thoughts are raw materials, you can say. Raw materials. And then what does agent do? Here, agent is imagination. The actor. Imagination, what does it do? New thoughts, creates new thoughts. Isn't it? Universal principles. Universal principles. Then value, and fourth, similitude. So this is it. Similitude. So reason is to imagination as instrument is to agent. Or we can say reason is to imagination as raw material is to the producer. But the producer is imagination. And reason provides raw material. Or you can say another example is wax is to the producer. Money is to business. Wax is to the producer. Producer as instrument to candle maker. Can you say like this? I don't know whether I am right or not. So wax is raw material. Here is the producer instead of imagination, and the instrument here is wax, and candle is the candle maker is the agent. Correct? Am I right in my argument? Yes. Raw material to producer. Raw material to producer. That is the thing. So thoughts are like raw materials to producer. Have I confused you? Thoughts are raw materials to producer. Producer here is imagination. I think that is clear. And then he further expands that. He says, like body is to spirit. Body is to spirit. That's what Shelley says. Body is to spirit. Or shadow is to substance, he says. Or shadow is to Shadow is to substance. Substance. So that's the thing. So body reason, and spirit imagination. Right? So imagination, spirit lives in the body. Body has no life without spirit. Atma. Understand? But spirit is Atma. What gives your thoughts life is imagination. Same way here. Substance is to shadow. If there is no substance, there cannot be shadow. So what is shadow here? Reason. What is substance? Imagination. Understand? These are the three comparisons. First is imagination. Reason is to imagination as instrument is to alien. Reason is to imagination as body is to spirit. I will write down all the three so that it becomes a clarity. Or as I said, money is to businessman as instrument to agent. Money is to businessman as instrument to agent. That is my statement. Not so here you can say second one by Shelley is this. Reason is to imagination. That is understood. Reason is to imagination as body is to spirit. Spirit. This is first one, this is second one. And third statement is reason is to imagination. Reason is to imagination as shadow is to substance. And my statement is money is to businessman as money is to business as instrument to agents. So you can see all the four statements. So here money is to businessman as instrument to agent. That means businessman requires money to do his business. That is the instrument with which he works. So reason is to imagination as instrument is to agent. So here the agent requires imagination. Agent is imagination. And the imagination gets raw material by reason. Reason provides raw material to imagination to create new thoughts, other thoughts, universal principles, and then you have got value and similitude. So what does imagination do? That also keep in your mind. First is new thoughts. Second is universal principles. This is the product, Products. And third is value. And fourth is similitude. So these are the works of imagination. Imagination produces new thoughts, universal principles, value and similitude. So what is the raw material? Raw material is the reason. Reason means thoughts. That's all. And this is the relationship here also. Spirit to body. Body gives the raw material for the spirit to exist or to live. Then shadow to substance. Substance, shadow to substance. Here, substance, if there is no substance, there is no shadow. That's the thing. If there is no spirit, there is no body. If there is no substance, there is no shadow. If there is no imagination, there is no point in reason. Because reason only can give you an amalgamation or a collection of facts. Reason gives a collection of facts. That is the raw material. And the maker is actually the poet, the maker, the creator is the poet or the imagination of the poet. That's the meaning. I think it is clear to you. I hope that I didn't confuse your mind. See, if you look at these statements, it is easy, I think. Now, others put it in this way. All what the reason can do is to provide raw materials for you. And the work is actually, the production center is imagination. And what does the imagination produce? Imagination from the raw materials provided by reason produces new thoughts, universal principles, values, and also similarities or similitude between things. Understand? So that I think is now clear. So listen, yes. So I hope that it is clear. I have made it clear to you, and you have been enjoying my classes. And we will pass on to the next topic in the next class. In the meanwhile, if you really enjoy my classes, if you understand, useful, you must. I humbly request you to subscribe to my channel and also ask your friends and your classmates to do the same for me, because I am more than of course it is beneficial to me, but more than that, I want that you people who are connected with me to get updates absolutely free of cost, because this is an open platform. Understand? For students. As I once said, no, I have great love for students. When I teach, actually what happens to me, do you know? Well, some people send me their remarks like this: "Sir, thank you very much for your effort." In fact, more than the effort that I am spending, and as an input, effort as an input, I get much value out of this. And that value is, do you know what is that value? That is a hormone called oxytocin. Oxytocin. You just browse the net and you will know what are the benefits of oxytocin. When you do something pleasurable, your body gets kind of energized by this hormone. Hormones, you can't buy it, you cannot artificially create it, but by doing certain jobs. For example, when you play with small children, you may think that it is a waste of time. Oh no, it is a great, it's precious moments you are spending with the small children, babies. You are small babies, you play with them and you lift them, then you kiss them and all those things. Then what you are getting is oxytocin. Your body is producing, and it is a well-being. It is a hormone of well-being hormone. Like endorphin, there's another one called endorphin. These are the things that will make you healthy, keep you healthy. So for me, teaching makes me healthy. Like there is a song, music makes me happy, like that. Teaching makes me healthy, I will say like that. Understand that? So it's a great pleasure actually to be with my virtual students and also some students sitting in front of me. I have got about 1,070 virtual students as on today I have. And I think that the number will increase more. Virtual students, I mean those who have subscribed. So you can also join them if you are getting benefit out of my classes. Thank you very much for listening and being with me. So tomorrow again we will see. Tomorrow or soon. See, maybe in the next class we will see again. Till then, bye. Have a nice time.